Today I am attempting a lithium battery conversion on an Alfa battery cart. I'm not going to bore you with having removed all of the old batteries and getting the hold down straps ready, because if you don't know how to get your batteries out, you're probably not going to be interested in this video. But in either case, a lithium battery which I ordered online, and we'll talk about the brand of that later. But let's get started. This was the original lead acid configuration. They were service-free batteries, but they failed. There was a battery pan in where the old batteries were in. I took it out because I wanted to get a little more clearance from the bottom of the battery compartment up to the bottom of the seat. I didn't want anything to get in the way of the battery itself or the connectors for the battery. What I did is I cut a piece of plywood that I'm going to lay in the floor that I can place the lithium battery on. Piece of plywood in place. I put a couple of blocks on the edge just to give it a little added resistance to bending and shaking or slippage of the battery. A couple of things here, and your installation might be different, but the base of the battery is 10 inches in, I guess it would be width, and I put a little stop block here just to keep it from possibility of moving back and forth. While I was at it, I also made sure I had plenty of room for the main battery cables that go to the controller. Batteries in place. Now we'll go ahead and fasten it down, make sure it's in securely before we start worrying about all the electrical hookups. The battery's secure. Cables will reach. What's left out there, the excess, I'll probably either just cut off or tie up, get out of the way. I'm wanting to mount the battery display right here, so I've got to decide how I'm going to run the wires from underneath the battery compartment, because the charger will be located on that side, and also the connector on the battery for the monitor is on the same side. So I'm going to run underneath, but it's just going to be a process to figure out how to get it up there. The battery monitor connection is right here. It'll be on the same side as the battery charger, which I'll locate where the old one was there, and hopefully run a wire up here to the monitor screen itself. Next, I mounted the battery monitor on the dash of the cart and just ran the wire underneath the floor. Did several tie wraps. Again, your own golf cart might have a different routing that you need to take, but bottom line is I did route this all the way back to the battery compartment, and right now the wire is all curled up here ready to hook up when I get ready to do all the rest of the electronics. Next step, I'll be mounting the battery charger. Well, I thought I might get fortunate and the mounting holes from the old battery charger would line up, but looks like not, so looks like I'll be drilling some holes there. This is where definitely I might differ from other installations, but this is the original plug-in for the lead acid batteries. Now that is a 110 inlet. That is what my charger, because it was an onboard charger, had. Now this charger, the new one for the lithium, it plugs in someplace. A lot of different ways you could do that, but I'd like to use my original plug-in just for convenience. What I'm going to have to do is cut this clip off that went into the old charger and add a female plug to it. So looks like I've got a trip to the hardware store coming. All right, now I should be able to plug in here with my original charger cable, as I've now added the recently obtained female adapter from the hardware store. So here we go. And this adapter will hook into the battery charger, and of course eventually the other end of it will go to the positive and negatives on the battery itself. The time has come to give it the acid test, as we say. I've got to take the caps off, the safety caps, identify my positives and negatives. I think I'll do the negatives first. Not sure why, just will. There's the battery charger, there's the main power, and let's get the screw that down. Make sure that we have it down nice and tight. And wrong socket. However, I can briefly tighten it with this until I go get the correct socket. Now the real acid test, positive. Down. And there we are. Next we'll go see if the cart has power and see if we've had any success to this point. I should probably point out there's a set of wires right here that originally came out of the old lead acid charger that I took out, and it goes back to the controller. And on some golf carts, those two wires have to be tied together, and on others, such as this one, they do not. So you might make note of that, but again, it's going to depend on the make and model of your cart. This one happens to be an Alfa, and I'm not real sure who they're the same as. What I had to make sure of, I was first not getting power. I had to make sure that DSG was in the green or on position. And now I see the charge is also in the on position, but I think that'll change as you plug in or it needs charging or what have you. Well, it works. You gotta put it in gear first though. Yeah, here we go. Woo! Yeah, I'll take it out for a test drive in a minute, but success. I'll do a little cleanup in here, tie wrap some wires just so everything looks a little bit neater, cap off those wires so they don't get corroded or anything, and put all the little panels back on, and that's job done, I believe. This is the battery I ordered, LiFePro 4, and from Cloud Energy. Got it off of Amazon. It was a little bit on offer, but it still cost me around $1,000. Along with the battery, the kit includes a charger, a monitor, 2 tie-down straps, and the necessary cabling for installation. Also, a manual talks about care and feeding of the battery. However, there are no instructions on how to install it in your golf cart.